Hey, what's happening, Testifiers all over the world? This is your boy Testify Music, or Testify to the Music. And today I'm going to be bringing you a topic that I've been meaning to bring you guys for a couple of weeks, just to kind of break out of the norm. This is a Testify Talks, but instead of me talking about my life, which I know you guys are probably sick of hearing about that, we're actually going to talk about a pretty hot topic that's going on right now, and that would be Star Wars. And this video will contain minor spoilers in it, so view this at your own risk. If you have not seen The Force Awakens, then I ask that you add this to your favorites or add to your watch later, and then just come back after you see the movie and see this, because I'd hate to spoil it for you because it was a phenomenal movie. But I was in Steak and Shake last week talking with one of our students from our youth group named Trey, and we were talking about Star Wars, and we're planning to go see it again this Friday. And we were just kind of talking about our general thoughts on Star Wars, and one of the things that he brought up was, and again, this is going to be a spoiler, so if you have not seen Star Wars: The Force Awakens, tune out now. He asked a question: what if Rey was one of the original children that were trained prior to Kylo Ren, aka Ben's, turn to the dark side? And I said, you know what? That actually makes a lot of sense because if you guys think about it, when Kylo Ren captured Rey and he was interrogating her and trying to use the Force on her, it kind of seemed like he knew her. It kind of seemed like he remembers her from somewhere. Um, and that would also explain Rey's Force, how, she discovered her Force powers and everything. Because one of the things that we both agree on, myself and Trey, is that at some point during her life, when she was a child, Rey had to have been trained in the ways of the Force. Otherwise, how would she have known about the Jedi mind control or known about the Force or anything? I think at some point she was trained by Luke, essentially, in the ways of the Force. And that would make sense if she was one of the original children that were trained prior to Kylo Ren's turn to the dark side. And let's just say Luke happened to help her escape and hit her on the planet Jakku. That way Kylo Ren wouldn't be able to find her, because it is said that he killed all the rest of them, but it didn't specify how many of them he killed. So what if essentially Rey was one of the children that got away, and Luke hit her on Jakku and just kind of did a minor race on her, or kind of did something where it made her lie dormant, and then once she came in contact with Luke's lightsaber at Maz Kanata's place, that would explain, all the flashbacks and everything. That would explain why she saw the Knights of Ren and everything. And again, this was his general thoughts on it, saying, what if she was one of the original children that was being trained in the ways of the Force at a young age prior to Kylo Ren's turn to the dark side, and he just happened to miss her, or Luke happened to get a hold of her and hide her on Jakku and just kind of wipe her mind out so she would forget about it at a certain point until she became in contact with something that helped her remind her. Because again, she ended up getting captured by Kylo Ren and he's interrogating her. How in the world would she be able to use her powers to get inside his mind and see what he thinks if she had not had no prior training? Another point, to add to this is when she's essentially telling the stormtrooper to leave the cell, to drop his weapon and take the cuffs off and leave the cell, how would she know about the Jedi mind trick? Because unless Han Solo told her in a deleted scene or something off screen that we didn't see, and told her about the Jedi mind trick or the Jedi mind control, how exactly would she know about that? So that makes sense, to leaning towards the point of maybe she had training prior to when she got her mind erased and she was placed on Jakku by whoever put her on Jakku. So again, Trey's theory, which I think this is a great theory. Ultimately, this might be ending up being true. But again, we'll just have to kind of wait until episode 8 comes out to see if this is true. But we're actually going to be going to the movies again Friday, and we're actually going to be taking notes and everything and seeing if this kind of makes a little bit more sense of how Rey would know about the Force and how she would be so Force sensitive without having any prior training at all. And some could say when she touched Luke's lightsaber, maybe something in there kind of triggered something. I think, again, going along with Trey's theory, it would make sense that she was one of the original children trained by Luke and it wasn't specified how many of the students were killed. So we could have had a few in there get away, and Rey could have been one of the few that got away. And Luke kind of just did something to her mind where it would lie dormant until she got a certain age and she somehow got a hold of his lightsaber. Because if you remember what Maskanata was saying, she was saying the lightsaber is calling out to you. It's calling out to you. Why was the lightsaber calling out to her? And again, this could go, also the thing that everyone thinks that Rey could be Luke's daughter. If she is Luke's daughter, I won't be upset because I'm kind of leaning more towards that. But then at the same time, I can see how she could not be Luke's daughter, and Disney is just doing a complete misdirect and trying to get everyone to think, oh yeah, you guys think, hey, yeah, Luke is her dad. Oh no, by the way, no, we're just completely misdirecting your minds. But what do you guys think? Do you think that Rey could be one of the original children that were trained with Luke prior to when Kylo Ren came in and was turned by Snoke to the dark side? You think that Luke happened to get her and maybe a few others, or maybe just her, and just kind of store them away on other different planets, and he just kind of placed her on Jakku and placed some kind of mind block on her? So when she got older and she got a hold of the lightsaber, everything just kind of snapped and awakened. What do you guys think? Again, I like Trey's theory. Again, his theory essentially is saying that Rey is one of the children that was trained prior to Kylo Ren turning to the dark side, before Snoke got a hold of him, and that Luke essentially put a mind block on her because her training was not yet done, and what he would have done is place her on the planet of Jakku and kind of just put a block on her mind, and when she gets a hold of his lightsaber, that block is completely undone, and which would explain why Kylo Ren felt like he knew her, because if you go back and analyze that scene, it kind of seemed like he knew her and everything. So I'm really starting to think that that theory that Trey has could be true. But again, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. If you like this video, please make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. And that has been our Testify Talks for this evening. Again, we're getting out of a little context here. I know you guys are getting a little bit bored of hearing about my boring old life, because honestly, sometimes I do get a little, I shouldn't say a little, a lot bored talking about myself. But again, guys, if you want to see more Star Wars content like this, please make sure you let me know in the comment section. Again, what do you think of Trey's theory? Thank you again so much for all your support. I hope you all have a blessed evening, and may the Force be with you.